Everybody, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video we are doing a review on something that's actually been out for a little while, but I've really wanted to do a review on it, so I'm sorry it's kind of late, but I just started my YouTube channel, so can I be forgiven? I think I can be forgiven. Alright, so I'm doing a review on the OPI Coca-Cola Collection. It came out probably a couple months ago, and I've never bought an entire OPI collection before, and when it came out I was like, I must have them all. I mean, we're talking like a serious obsession of mine, which is so funny because I don't actually drink Coke or sodas or pop or whatever you call it wherever you're at. I don't actually drink it. I never do. I mean, the only time I ever drink a soda is if I'm at Fuddruckers. Have y'all been to Fuddruckers? It's a burger restaurant, you know, kind of fast food, but not really. Anyhow, they have the Coke machines there where it's not just the individual flavors and you just, you know, press the lever and the drink comes out. It's a touch screen and you tap what base flavor you want. So you can get like Dr. Pepper, Coke, Sprite, whatever base flavor. And then it'll have options of different syrups, I guess, or different flavorings to go with it. Like Coke, you can get cherry Coke, or you can get vanilla Coke, or you can get vanilla cherry Coke, or Diet Coke. Like, there's so many different flavors, it's insane. And my favorite soda of all time ever is cherry vanilla Coke. Have you ever had it? It is amazing. And I don't think they even make it anymore. I haven't seen it anywhere. I've seen cherry Coke, I've seen vanilla Coke, but they don't have cherry vanilla Coke. And we're talking in my like early teens probably when I remember it coming out, and I thought it was the bomb. So anyhow, I digress. We're gonna go ahead and get into the review. I did get all of the colors, so I'll go over all of them with you. And I have swatches, so let's get started. All right, the first color we're gonna go over is called You're So Vanilla. And the OPI tagline is, I bet you think this creamy nude is all about you. Oh yes it is. So anyhow, this shade, it is a light beige, sort of nude, a little yellow toned, and it's a cream finish. I liked it. The first coat went on maybe a little bit streaky, but it evened out well enough. The second coat, I'd say still a little bit streaky. It evens less on the second coat than it did on the first coat. The first coat, and I always recommend using it over a base coat. Always over a base coat. I've been using Nail Tech No. 2 and I absolutely love it. It's done wonders for my nails. It dries relatively quickly. It's not completely opaque. I'd say this polish needs 2 to 3 coats, at least. 2 at the very least. And I'd say 3 if you want to do maybe slightly thinner coats. Every coat that I did is about a medium coat, so I'm not doing it too thin, but I'm definitely not doing it too thick. And each of these swatches has top coat over it, so you can see what it looks like with the gloss on. With this polish, you need to use like as few brush strokes as possible. If you've never heard of the quick easy polish technique that will just make put non-polish super easy, it's like a 3-stroke technique. So what you do is you start your brush not in the center of your nail, but up kind of towards your cuticles. Put a drop of polish there, gently push it up towards your cuticles without touching your cuticles, and then swipe down. Go back up to the top, swipe around to the side, and then back up to the top, swipe around to the left. So it's like 3 strokes: center, right, left. I'll have to find some videos, or maybe even create a video if y'all want me to, of doing that technique. It has been the best thing I've learned, you know, in forever in regards to applying polish. It's such a dream. So you definitely need to try to use that type of technique when you do this kind of polish. Just because if you start doing multiple strokes, it gets streaky and it pulls the polish off. So I love the color though. I think the color is gorgeous. I think it's a really beautiful nude. I think it's a flattering nude for lots of different skin tones. The formula can just be a little tricky. So, but all in all, I do like this polish. All right, next up in the collection, we have My Signature is DC with the tagline, My Initial Impression. This shimmery silver is just right. And of course, the word right is spelled like writing, not it's right. Which, by the way, shout out to my friends out in Chicago and Indiana. I live in Texas, if you didn't know. You probably know by the time you hear me say y'all all the time. But my friends, new friends that I made out in Indiana, they have the saying of it's right. And my husband has now caught on to it. He says it all the time. It drives me nuts, but I like it at the same time. So Jana, everyone out there, mwah, love and hugs to you. Just so you know, you have like started something. So this polish, it's right. It's a silver foil. I didn't say, but you probably guessed it. The polish before You're So Vanilla is inspired by Vanilla Coke. This polish is inspired by Diet Coke, if you didn't guess. That's why it says My Signature is DC. Obviously, you know, Diet Coke has that silver, you know, on the can and the bottle and everything. So that's what this polish is for. The first coat of this polish was a bit streaky. It does glide on pretty well. The second coat is streaky up close, but from far away you can't really tell. It dries relatively quickly. It looks opaque with two coats, but like I said, up close it doesn't look quite as opaque. But you know, if you're just holding it, say even less than arm's length away, you can't tell that it's not completely opaque. If that really bothers you, do a thin third coat, not a big deal. But I'm happy with it with two coats. Again, you need to stroke with your brush straight down. Try not to curve anywhere because you can sort of see the lines in the polish. It's not too terribly noticeable, but if you can do straighter brush strokes, try to. It does help. Cool thing about this polish is it looks like a chrome polish when you're in shade or you don't have direct sunlight or bright light, you know, bright natural light around you. It looks like a chrome. You can't see that foil finish. It just looks straight up chrome, which I absolutely love about it. I really think it's a beautiful polish. It reminds me a lot of OPI's, what is it called? Give me 1 second, let me look it up. Found it. It reminds me of OPI's Designer Series Radiance, which is very, very similar in formula. I'd say My Signature is DC's maybe a little bit more, I don't want to say streaky because it's not streaky. You can just see the lines of the brush strokes. Radiance, you can't see it quite as much, but the finish is very similar. So if you already have their Designer Series Radiance polish, I'd say you probably don't need this polish, but if you're looking for a nice, good silvery foil, I say go ahead and get this one. It's a nice formula. All right, next up we have Green on the Runway, and the OPI tagline is, "This uncut lime green makes a real fashion statement." All right, so this polish, it's inspired by Sprite, if you couldn't guess. It's kind of a little funny because I didn't expect it to be a duochrome, which it is. It's a green to sort of, it's like it's not burgundy, it's like a brown red shade duochrome with some like very, very light shimmer in it. No sparkle though, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. The first coat dries like super, super fast. It seems a little thin, but it's not streaky at all, so that's good. The second coat, still no streaks. You can kind of see the brush strokes a little bit, but not as bad as, you know, say some of the other polishes in this collection that I've already gone over. It's really, really nice. I absolutely love this shade. It was one of the colors that I was most excited to get. I love the formula. It's a good two-coater. I mean, I don't know what else I can say about this shade other than if you don't have it in your life, you need it. If you like greens, if you like duochromes, it's very unusual. It's very different. I haven't seen OPI come out with anything kind of just like it or very similar to it. So absolutely love it. Mwah. All right, next up we have a shade called Sorry, I'm Fizzy Today. And the tagline is, "Do not disturb. I'm enjoying this creamy, smooth pink." So this is the pink shade of the collection. It's a light pink, but it's got like maybe the tiniest bit of coral in it, just so it's not straight up pink. It doesn't really have orange in it, but it's definitely not just a straight up pink. It's got a little bit of coral pop to it. This shade is also inspired by Vanilla Coke. I know you're thinking, but we did Vanilla Coke already. What's wrong with you, Cookie? If you look at, not all the cans have it, but most of the cans, some of the bottles do. If you look at the vanilla Coke design and colors on it, next to, kind of between the Coca-Cola Red and the actual vanilla shade, there is this pink shade. Isn't that the funny? I bet you never thought to look before. I never knew until I read that this was inspired by vanilla Coke, and I was like, wait a minute. No, it's not. But it actually is. This color is indeed on the vanilla Coke cans and bottles. Not all of them, but some of them. All right, so this shade, probably, it's so sad because I wanted to love it so much. I really did. It is probably the worst out of the collection. There is some pooling with the first coat. It's a bit watery, so it does pool maybe a teensy bit. It is streaky. You really only need to use the 3-stroke method to apply. It does dry pretty quick. You know, I'll say that about it. With the second coat, if you don't get it right in 1 stroke, it will pull and it will leave blank spots on your nail. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's not just streaking, it's taking off the first layer almost, even though the first layer was completely dry. It's really bizarre. It doesn't even out very well. It gets a little gloppy. It's not opaque. Like I said, it pulls it off. It makes me sad. It really does, because I mean, look how pretty it is. It's such a pretty bottle, but the formula just kind of makes me sad sometimes. Putting on a thicker top coat helps a bit. Like the best top coat I've used, and I'm sure you'll hear every nail person say this, Seche Vite. It's a nice thicker top coat. If you have a thick top coat already, you know, don't worry about getting Seche Vite. If you have one that you swear by, just don't use a thinner top coat with it. If you put a thicker top coat in it, it just kind of evens out the look a little bit. So my phone died and had to be plugged in. I had my issues. So we were talking about this polish. I'll just sum it up. Basically, it's the worst formula of the collection. I mean, it's nice. I like it. It's okay. It's just really tricky to work with. So if you don't mind working with tricky polish, I'd say go ahead and get it, just because the color is really pretty. But if you have a hard time working with polishes, I probably wouldn't bother. All right, next up we have kind of the star of the show. It is the Coca-Cola Red. The tagline is classic red, always in style, always perfect. So of course, you know, needing no main introduction really, this Coke is inspired by Coca-Cola Red. And this is the main color that I am wearing on my nails today. I'll show you can you kind of see that there's like a design on my nails? You'll see at the end of the video. I'll show you a picture of what I did. But obviously Coca-Cola Red, this formula is lovely. I love it. If you're gonna buy a nice red polish, I'd say this is a must-have. The first coat goes on really smooth. It evens out perfectly. It's almost opaque with the first coat. The second coat, again, smooth. It's such a great formula. It's glossy. It's a beautiful bright red. I won't say it has like orange in it, but it does have like a very bright vibrancy that's not just that rich, typical, like straight up prime color red. And it's perfect to coat or polish. This shade, like I said, if you need a red in your life, you need this red. If you already have reds in your life, you probably still need this red. I mean, I have, how many reds do I have? I have way too many red polishes. Like, I loved the Gwen Stefani OPI Collection red. I can't even think of them off the top of my head right now, but I have way too many reds, and I still needed this red. So, just saying, if you need a good red, if you like red polishes, this is my new baby red. All right, next up we have the shade Get Cherried Away. The tagline is, seriously, this black cherry is over the top gorgeous. And they're not lying. It is fabulous. This is probably my favorite polish out of everything, the whole collection. The formula is great, the color is great. It is inspired by cherry Coke, if you couldn't guess. And like I said, cherry vanilla Coke is my favorite. So I actually have a mix of cherry vanilla here, I guess you could say. It's just absolutely gorgeous polish. It's a beautiful sort of magenta purple cream. The first coat goes on a little streaky, But the second coat, by the time you put on the second coat, I mean, it's perfect. It's beautiful. It's glossy. It's perfectly opaque. You only need 2 coats. I mean, I don't know what else I could say about it other than it's my favorite. I love it. It's amazing. You have to have it. I mean, look how gorgeous it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, my favorite, the end. All right, next up we have a Grape Affair. The tagline is, make a big to-do in this deepest, darkest purple. Obviously inspired by Grape Fanta, which I don't think I've ever had a Fanta in my life. Maybe when I was young. No, I don't even think when I was younger. But it's still such a pretty color. I really, like I said, I need the whole collection. I need to feel complete. And now I do. So anyhow, all right, so this shade is a perfect 2-coater. It is a beautiful deep, deep, deep dark purple. The first coat goes on a little bit streaky, but it glides on really well and it does even out. The second coat, it darkens it a lot. That's the only thing that I'm kind of disappointed about. I really wish that it stayed the color of the first coat because I think the first coat was absolutely gorgeous. A beautiful purple. Once I put on the second coat, it went so dark. But I have had other polishes that look just like this, that when you put on the second coat, it's like almost black with purple around the edging. You can't see the purple anymore. With this, you can still see that it's a dark purple, which I really am happy about. I didn't have any running or pulling. And this shade with Get Cherried Away, these 2 colors, I'm hoping you can kind of see them. They are so pretty together. I mean, I haven't done it yet, but I want to. I want to do, you know, an all over nail with Get Cherried Away and then put a Grape Affair as a French tip over it. I think it'll be like a beautiful color blocking French tip, or maybe even reversed. I mean, I just think it's so pretty together. So I'm happy I did get this. It does go well with the other colors in this collection as well. So still a must-have for me. A good formula, a good dark purple. If you want a dark purple, I say it's a fabulous polish. All right, next up we have the shade Orange You Fantastic. The tagline is glitter to the max in this juicy orange explosion. If you didn't guess, it is inspired by Fanta Orange, which again, I don't drink Fanta, but hey, I love it anyhow. Excuse me, my cat's being bad. He's trying to sit on my computer. Say hi. Yeah, we're not being good today. This is the culprit that tried to delete files in my computer earlier. So anyhow, back where I was. This polish contains not dark orange, but medium orange, light orange, and gold different shaped glitters. And it's in a yellow orange sheer base. So here's the photo. If you look at it, you can see that this is 2 coats. I say you need between 2 and 4 coats depending on the type of finish that you want. This is 2 coats, so you can see it's still not completely opaque, but I'm happy enough with the heaviness of the tint, I guess you can say. I think it still provides a good tint. I think this polish is very jam-packed with glitter that it provides enough coverage over the surface of the nail. I don't think you need more coats, but if you just like your nail to be completely opaque with glitter for a glitter polish, then I'd say you probably can go up to 4 coats. You know, it's just entirely up to you. It's just, you know, what's your preference essentially. It dries super, super fast. That's a good thing about it. The bad thing about it is that when you put a top coat on, it will eat up a little bit of the top coat. And I was using a thicker top coat. Like I said, I was using Sèche Vite. So if you look at this picture, you can see a little bit of the top coat has kind of sunk down around the glitter particles. If you want it to be completely glossy, if you don't want it to have that finish, you could do 2 top coats, 2 layers of a thicker top coat, and I think it would be perfectly fine. But other than that, I mean, I really think it's a gorgeous color. I really want to wear this for Thanksgiving because it seems like such a Thanksgiving, you know, fall color. I think it came at a perfect time, you know, me getting it. So I'm really happy with this purchase. I haven't seen anything else like this that I have in my collection or from OPI really. So again, happy with this polish. All right, last up in this collection is Today I Accomplished Zero. And the tagline says, dramatic black with an effervescent red sparkle is a total must-do. All right, so obviously this polish is inspired by Coke Zero, which I think I've tried a couple times, but it just had such a funny taste that it wasn't kind of my favorite. But anyhow, what this polish is, it's in a sort of light black jelly base, and it's just completely chock full of red single size glitter. It looks like single size to me. Yeah, I don't see much difference between maybe a couple. No, maybe there's a couple different sizes, some small dots and then some larger glitters. Anyhow, just my eyes going cross like staring at it. Anyhow, so this polish, it goes on pretty thin and streaky. The base is definitely streaky, and on your first coat, I'd say again as few swipes as possible, but there is a decent amount of glitter in it. Now with the second coat, it does darken significantly, like completely significantly. It might even need 3 thin coats if you'd prefer to do 3 thin coats. If you do medium coats like me, I'd say you're okay with 2. There's still a few spots that I can kind of see a little bit through, but that's like very, very close examination. You know, that if I held it arm's length away or even shorter than that, I probably couldn't see it. I'm not too thrilled with the finish of this polish. I think I just don't see the contrast between the black and the red very well. It just kind of looks jumbled to me. It doesn't look good in photos. I've tried taking a good photo. I've tried different angles. I've tried different lighting, and this is the best that I can do. I really want to know how other bloggers do it, because I've seen some decent photos of it, and I'm like going nuts trying to take a good photo of it, and I just can't. It's killing me. I think it looks better in person than it does in photos. But it's okay. It's not my favorite. It's not the worst. It's not the best. I think it's unusual. I think it's pretty. I think they captured the Coke Zero feel really, really well. I either want there to be like less glitter or more glitter, and I haven't decided which it is. You definitely need a nice glossy top coat with this, a nice thick top coat with this, because it will eat up a little bit of the top coat, and the glitter just doesn't stand out as much without a nice glossy finish. So definitely needs that. But I mean, it's still a nice polish. I really just wanted to complete the collection. And like I said, it's not the worst, it's not the best. So, you know, if you like polishes like this, I'd say go ahead and get it. If not, I'd say stay clear from it. All right, so that's it for my review on the collection. So for my nails today, I just picked some of my favorite shades from the collection to do a mani with. I chose Coca-Cola Red, Get Cherried Away, You're So Vanilla, and my signature is DC. And what's funny is I realized after I did the mani that I was kind of doing my favorite soda, and I didn't even realize it till after I was done. I was doing Cherry Vanilla Coke, because I'm using the cherry shade, the vanilla shade, and the Coca-Cola shade. The only thing that was different was my signature is DC, which I don't drink Diet Coke, but I really wanted that pop of silver. So I really wish instead of the silver I had used I'm So Fizzy today, because it's the other vanilla Coke shade, but close enough. We're just gonna say I did my favorite soda on my nails, and I wanted to do something that kind of looked like fizzy bubbles coming up. Have y'all seen the Physio commercial for Starbucks? It's like, I see it everywhere. It's the bubbles that are coming up that are supposed to look all enticing and tasty and refreshing. So it reminded me of this collection. So when I did my nails, I was like, I'm just gonna do some sort of fizzy bubbles popping up, you know, off my nail, and something all carbonated looking. So anyhow, that's me being all clever. So that is it for the review. I hope you enjoyed. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you want to see more reviews just like this, if you want to see more nail polish collection reviews with swatches and photos, and then a mani at the end, let me know if you liked the inspired mani at the end, if you like me doing that sort of thing. Comment down below. I want to get your feedback. I want to get your input. I want to know what you thought. But for now, I will talk to y'all all very soon. See y'all in my next video. Bye.